Hello, are you the child of a narcissist? Well, how would you know? Well, this is how I found out that I was the child of a narcissist. I'm Alan Chatting, I'm a psychotherapist, and I am the author of the book Raised by a Narcissist. Um, when I got to my 50s, I'm considerably older than that now, but when I got to my 50s, on the outside, I was reasonably successful. I'd had 20-year career in teaching. I'd retrained as a psychotherapist and had a practice. But on the inside, I didn't feel very good. On the inside, I didn't feel good about myself. I felt a bit of a fake as far as therapy was concerned. And I felt a bit like a scared kid, and that there was fundamentally something wrong with me. And this kind of I tucked away, and didn't look at too much. And one day, my wife was out for the day. I think she might have been away for the weekend. And I had a couple of articles to write, and I sat in front of my computer, and I'd done masses of training, and I'm an intelligent man and lots of skills. And I tried to write this article, and I just went blank. Nothing happened. I couldn't do it. And I didn't know why I couldn't do it, but I just felt awful. I felt a wave of hopelessness come over me. I felt so fraudulent and negative. What on earth was wrong with me that I got to 55 or so and I couldn't do a damn silly thing like this? I talked to my therapist about this. I talked to my supervisor. They both agreed there was something strange that needed to be got to the bottom of. No one knew what it was. One day, quite by chance, I read an article on a blog. It might have been Psychology Today or something like that. And there's an article about the children of narcissists. And there's a checklist. So I have a look. Feeling not good enough, check. Avoiding conflict, check. Doesn't like to speak up, check. Always looking for the right answer, check. Low self-esteem, check. Feeling like an imposter, check. I thought, this looks like me. This really does look like me. So I followed the trail to follow up. What is it about the children of narcissists? So what did I discover? Well, I discovered that narcissistic parents take all the love and attention in a family. There's none left for the children because they draw everything to them like a black hole of emotions. They're needy, they're controlling, and they get very angry if you cross them as a general rule. Or they have a black mood, which, either anger or a black mood, to make sure that everybody does what they want. The children become appeasing. What does mummy want? What does daddy want? They learn to please all the time, and they keep their heads down. They don't say too much in case they get barked at or even slapped. So the children end up with a weak sense of self. They defer to other people far too much. They feel not okay, less than, not good enough. And this spreads right through their life. It's really subtly disabling, I think we could say. So if this is you, you may find that you don't like yourself very much, that you're ashamed and you expect people to reject you because you're ashamed of who you are. The other people are much more deserving than you anyway. You don't like saying no to anybody. People say, yeah, all right then. You do things, therefore, that you don't want to do. You don't speak up when you want something or you need something. And you do what other people want, not what you want. So you always end up going with the crowd, going with the flow. If you do get what you want, it feels wrong and you feel guilty for it because it doesn't feel right. And you expect that the only way you're going to get anything is if you behave in a certain way and you're a good girl or boy, or you manipulate the situation. So where does this take you? Well, of course, generally you're hopeless at making decisions. First of all, you don't trust yourself. Now, for me, my mother appeared to know the right way to do everything, and if it was her way or the wrong way. So, of course, what I would do was I would, in any situation, I would think, well, there must be a right answer. Well, there isn't, is there? There is no right answer all the time. Answers are different, and you have to work them out according to what's happening for you and what the situation is. But I was always looking for a right answer. So I found that I couldn't just assess a situation and trust myself to work things out. You might experience that if you're the child of a narcissist. General feelings, well, you feel okay working for other people, but doing things for yourself doesn't feel right. You may well become a rescuer. This is something I like to do. Or let me help with that. Let me do that for you, because you'll feel good if you do something for someone. Let me sort that out for you. But what happens if you're a rescuer like that is either people let you get on with it and don't appreciate you, or they, after a little bit, they say, do you know what, please don't interfere. And you end up saying that classic line, I was only trying to help. Yeah, well, you know, being a rescuer is actually a pain to other people. You think it's okay, but it's a pain. So you become unsure of your emotions because you only feel good when you do things for others. You become unsure of other people. When that happens, you know, and someone says, why don't you back out and stop interfering? You become unsure. Why did they say that when I was helping? So you become scared of other people's anger. So you appease people all the more. And if there's an argument, you walk the other way or you give in. You pick up unhealthy habits from your parents. So the sort of things you might pick up if you've got a narcissistic parent is you might value appearances more than people. So you don't like to speak up. You'll go with the keep everything calm. You might well manipulate people rather than speak up. And you might behave like them and then dislike yourself for it. Now, my mother was very angry and dominating. You know, she would fly off the handle, which was quite scary. You know, I mean, I'm talking about when I was a toddler. She would fly off the handle. It was terrifying. Now, when I was a young school teacher, and I would be trying to keep order in a classroom, which is fairly normal, and someone would cross the line and break a rule, you know, and play up in some way, then I would be there, I'll be shouting and I'd be finger wagging and I'd be angry and I would, you know, be quite scary probably. And I was doing what my mother did and I didn't realize it. And I'm not particularly proud of that early stage of my teaching career. I feel a bit, you know, well, if any of my pupils are watching this, and some of them may be, I apologise. I wasn't always the best of teachers. Okay, you're a child of a narcissist and you're going to form adult relationships. How's that going to work for you? Well, first of all, you may well find yourself choosing a partner who dominates you, just like your parent dominated you. And you might end up appeasing them and doing everything they want. And it will never be enough and you'll never feel good enough for them. So that's an uncomfortable relationship. An alternative is you might choose a victim who's got hard luck stories to tell you, everything's wrong. And that's, did you know, that is another kind of narcissist, the one who's not the most important in the room, but the most hard done by. And you might choose someone like that and you'll be running around trying to make their life okay and not succeeding for the length of the relationship. So where else might being the child of a narcissist affect you? Well, what about the world of work? That can be quite disappointing because first of all, you've got to deal with all that imposter stuff. I don't know how I got this job. It was only luck. I'm not really good enough. What if they find out about me? And so on, all those kind of things. So you come to dread team meetings, you melt into the wall paneling, you melt into the background, don't say anything. And annoyingly, sometimes you have an idea and don't mention it, and someone else comes up with and gets praise for it. And you think, I knew that. I thought of it first. But, you know, you just then get angry with yourself. So you tend to be passive. You tend to get passed over if there's going to be, you know, a team to be led or a promotion or anything like that. So you work harder. You work harder and harder looking for recognition. You go in early, you stay late, and you work hard. And, you know, you never get it. So you end up as that long-suffering senior assistant or middle ranker who never really made it. And then you start to let people know, because you're a martyr. You've worked so hard, and what have you got for it? That's narcissistic behavior as well, sadly. A lot of that was true for me. I did not reach anything like the potential that I have as a teacher. I ended up as a low to middle ranker running a small department. After 20 years, I could have done much better had I understood myself better. So where are we? Well, dysfunctional parenting leaves you feeling second class and not good enough. But let's put something in mind here before we finish. These are feelings that you suffer from. They're not facts. This is just your history. And the future does not equal the past. So in order to change, first of all, the first step you've taken, because you've started to become aware, this is pinging for you like it did for me when I read that article, then you've already started to change because you're thinking, hang on a minute, it's not me, it's just my history. There will be ways to take your change further in other videos of mine, so keep an eye out for them. Just one little word of caution, there are other kinds of dysfunctional parenting which produce similar results, like being raised by an alcoholic. So do watch the other videos of mine and make sure that we are talking about narcissistic parenting in your case. Okay, so look out for the other videos. Do please like and subscribe. I'm Alan chatting. Thank you very much for watching.